Good vibes, my friends, all the way. What is this thing that this good vibes guy here have? Has this bacteria? Hey, it's like bacteria which have overgrown to a point they can now be seen in real life. Or what are these? And other weird trees. Oh my god, crazy weird stuff all over. Look at this one. Dogs on the tree leaves. How? Another presence of the world. Some flower there was doing the rotation thing. How is this possible? Is this normal stuff? You see, sometimes we come across crazy stuff out there in the jungle, but some of this stuff I see here are even more strange. You see? And I wonder how they happen. Look at this one. This one is an insect. Oh my god. Ooh. Imagine just going there in the forest and taking a nap anywhere, anyhow. And coming across these insects have already gone up your body. Look at this. It is alleged that the rocks were alive because some rocks look like pieces of meat. You see? And it's crazy, my friends. The resemblance between
To me, these do
this
not
stuff.
look like rocks or stones, but more like layers of skin, muscle, and tissue from a long-lost race of giants petrified in hills and sides of mountains. Because in reality, what do we really know about our past and the truth?
Question everything, friends. Until next time.
New at 10, a strange sighting is baffling Hill Country Village residents tonight. This creature was caught on camera at a North Side neighborhood.
About this big, I think, because I was here and it was crossing the street into that, from that empty lot into that house.
All new at 5, spooky security camera footage.
Yeah, a Metro Atlanta mom says it actually shows her son's ghost.
He opened the door because from the cameras you can see a shadow and did a little dance.
Shape-shifting creatures, cryptids in neighborhoods, and visitors from other worlds, that is what lurks in the darkness of the night.
The heck is that?
So stick around to witness some of the most spooky and downright terrifying encounters ever to be caught on camera. I thought this picture was fake, but it turns out there is video evidence of this creature. The video begins by showing a tiny cryptid sitting at the end of stairs like it was thinking about something. As the camera remains on the creature, it becomes obvious that the cryptid had gotten lost and couldn't find its way back home. But then the cryptid looked towards the camera. Its eyes were completely blank and looked like they were illuminated like a flashlight. Before the creature could do anything else, the person recording runs away. Distorted. What you just saw was a monster that was seen in Mexico at the start of last year, 2023. It had a huge head and appeared to be dressed in an all-white gown. But what was truly disturbing were those unnatural movements. It did not walk, nor did it appear to be of this world at all. Whatever was caught on camera was strangely distorted. And that begs the question, can something like this even be real? As always, just decide for yourself. Jump scare.
Turn off the lights. Turn off your lights.
Two young paranormal investigators, intrigued by rumors of ghostly sounds emanating from a cabin in the forest, embarked on an investigation. Upon entering the cabin and descending into the exposed basement, they were met with eerie screeching noises. The anomaly seemed to draw nearer, its intensity increasing until it finally confronted the investigators, prompting them to scream in terror as they hastily fled the area.
Sometimes, because of the definitions and reasons and conditions that you may have placed upon your dreams, in the way that you may have chosen to limit yourselves consciously or unconsciously, sometimes your excitement has to be delivered in a way that may look like it has nothing at all to do with the dream, but the excitement knows it is the thing that will allow you to move. It is the thing that will inspire you to take some action, so that you will then wind up in the place you need to be to actually receive what you need to receive, that then may truly be connected to your dream. So that's why you have to have absolutely no insistence or assumption about acting on your passion, because sometimes the form in which it comes may not necessarily need to come to fruition. It may just be the thing that gets you to move, so you will wind up in the place where you need to receive the things you really need to receive. Now, the idea of action, again, as we have discussed from time to time, can even be symbolic, because when you infuse an action with the same level of excitement and passion, energy, that would be present were you acting on the thing itself that you may have visualized as your ideal scenario, the energy of that excitement itself is what will allow your body to read the thing you're doing, the action you're taking, as real. It's the excitement energy level that your body reads, not really the form in which the excitement comes. We know that sometimes you can attach all sorts of expectations to the form, but the body consciousness itself will respond to the energy before it will respond to the form. That's the first wave that you will receive. The first wave that will come to you will be the energy wave itself. From your higher mind, through your heart, then to your mind, then to your eyes. So the idea is to allow yourself to go with the flow of the feeling, to go, as you say, with your gut, and allow yourself to generate the vibratory energy that your body will respond to, as if the scenario you are creating is as real as anything in your physical reality. And once you allow your body to practice getting trained to respond to that vibration, it will be much easier for your vibration to drop all the things that are impediments and in the way and attract and let through to you the idea that is physically representative of that frequency. Again, it may not look like you think, but it will be exactly what you need. So, by way of example, by way of permission slip, we have a suggestion that can help train you into really paying attention to how to feel your way through this by taking an action that will generate the proper state of being that will get your body to be the most receptive antenna it can be and the most powerful transmitter it can be for the specific vibrational energy of what it is you need in your life that is representative of your ability and your path to live your dreams. So you have to be willing to dare to take that action. It may sometimes seem very silly on the surface. It may seem to have nothing at all to do with what you say you're passionate about. But as long as it is, at least to some degree, in your imagination, symbolically representative of it, your body will pay attention to it as if it was the actual physical thing. So we would suggest, as we have before, but now in a different way, we will say, that if you can find no particular action to take on the thing itself, allow yourself to create the following permission slip. Get a pad of paper. Get some pens or pencils, whatever medium you prefer, or paint, and allow yourself to draw to the best of your ability. Doesn't matter. You do not have to be Leonardo da Vinci. Draw to the best of your ability a representational scenario of your visualization of an ideal outcome. Now, we've talked about visualization and how to use it by letting the visualization pump you up to the proper energy level and then dropping the picture so that you're creating a space that the higher mind can fill based on the energy that the visualization allowed you to create within yourself. So this is another way of doing this that's a little bit more physical for you, so you actually have some physical activity rather than just keeping the visualization in your head, in your imagination, in your mind's eye. So when you have your visualization of the so-called ideal scenario, first, of course, understand that it is simply a symbolic representation. But draw it out. Actually draw it out to the best you are able physically so that you actually can see it with your physical eyes. When you do that, when you've done it to your satisfaction, when it feels correct to you, that you have included everything in there that to you represents the ideal scenario, when you've included everything that when you look at the picture gets you really, really excited about that manifestation, allow yourself then to take that physical picture and burn it. Burn it up. Watch it burn. Watch it crumble. Watch it go up in smoke. And understand that at that moment, every single thing about that scenario and every single thing in that image has been encoded in the smoke. And let the smoke rise to the height. And let it spread far and wide. Don't burn your house down. Let it spread safely, far and wide. And let yourself know that now every single bit of that idea is now encoded in the atmosphere around you. It is now spreading out farther and farther. Even though you may no longer be able to see the smoke after it dissipates, it is spreading out as a bubble farther and farther in your physical world. And all it takes is one little atom to find where it needs to go. It will find its path. They will all find their path. And that will allow you to know that you are actually creating a physical connection of that vibrational scenario to your physical reality. And those little atoms will be going out and being your guides, your scouts, connecting to what they need to connect to create pathways back to you, trails like dropping breadcrumbs back to you of all the elements that you truly need. Again, they may not necessarily look like things in the picture, but when they come to you and contain that passion, more excitement than any other option at that moment, you will know that you are receiving the response, you are receiving the echo, you are receiving the connection, you are receiving the message that comes from what you have sent out, that atom by atom is connecting to all the things it needs to connect to, all the people it needs to connect with, and bringing back along that connective line to you, vibrationally, in that smoke, in those atoms, all of the energy, all of the things you need to allow you to call to yourself every single representation, every single symbolic representation of what was in that idealized picture. Again, it may not look the same. It might, but it may not. But it is by the feeling you shall recognize the opportunity as being connected to that picture and being the response of what you sent those atoms of smoke out to connect to. Does this sound like fun? I beg your pardon? Again, the idea is to also remember to act on your passion in the most passionate way, to be passionate about being passionate. For that is the precursor state to everything that really needs to happen in your life. Passion, excitement is your body's physical translation of the vibrational energy of your true essential being. So when you are willing in any way to act on your passion, even symbolically to entrain your body consciousness to recognize and get familiar through practice with that frequency, you will will allow yourself to truly shift to a different reality that is far more representative of who you are, a far more representative reflection of who you truly prefer to be, and you will be most aligned with your vibration, your true.
So, alleged footage here released by the Vatican of back then in 453 after the death of Christ, of what looks or what is alleged to be a dragon, my friends. A dragon back then. This is crazy stuff. I mean, there was a time these things used to exist in real life. You see, this footage is allegedly from a timekeeper. And now what's more weird about this whole story is now the fact that this creature here, we were told that it was only existing in tales and never existed in real life. And then, now the person that put this footage here, you see, it was released by the Vatican, allegedly. Now you can imagine how this stuff were recorded or found by the timekeeper. Who is the timekeeper, my friends? It's crazy stuff. This world is full of crazy stuff. That's why you really need honest amongst ourselves. You see, look at that creature. Hey, did it really?
Let me tell you something about the DNA and why you're so special. Most aren't aware that when the Anunnaki came down to create their primitive worker race to mine for gold, one of the reasons that Enki and Enlil actually fell out is because we were created more powerful than we were actually supposed to be. Enki added more to the genetic mixture than he was supposed to. This is why our telomeres are capped. The ancient text indicates that these beings actually feared our development and feared that we would actually become more superior than them. It's actually 98% out of our DNA that we don't have access to. This is why they fear us fully activating. Once we reach a certain level in our ascension process, we have the ability of actually rewiring ourselves genetically and actually tapping into that dormant DNA. This is taking place due to a terraforming process from cosmic radiation. There's ionizing particles that are depleting our magnetosphere. Continue to stay on the lookout for solar flares and cosmic activity. We are being activated cosmically. The celestial bodies as well as the luminaries have a direct effect on our 114 chakras. We're going to see more and more people becoming enlightened. This age of awakening is inevitable and was predicted by the ancients. The pressure you feel at the base of your spine is the Kundalini serpent uncoiling. You have access to anywhere in the universe simply by going inward.
Huh. Look at this beautiful looking animal here. An interesting one. Which animal is this, my friend here? Do we have it from this side of the world? Looks like an overgrown squirrel or a mole. Anyways, good vibes. Yeah, I've seen this one, but now the name leave it. English people, leave us the name of how you call it. From this side of the world, you have traditional name for it.
Idea that you change the planet you're on. You don't. The planet you're on never changes. You change yourself, your frequency, and you shift to another parallel version of Earth that is already more representative and reflective of the change in frequency you made within yourself. You're doing this constantly without even knowing it. We are shifting all right now. Billions, literally billions of times per second. What scientists on your planet have called the idea of Planck time is the so-called tick of the clock of physical reality. You are shifting 10 to the 43rd power every second to different parallel versions of Earth, but doing it so smoothly you think you're on the same Earth you were on a moment ago. You are not. So the idea is to navigate this shifting by raising your frequency, by becoming more expanded in your awareness, so that you're constantly shifting yourself in the direction of more and more versions of Earth that are more like the versions you prefer to experience. Not everyone on your planet will do that. Some of them will go to alternate versions. Right now, you can still perceive each other because you still have the ability and free will to choose among all the different pathways that people on your planet are choosing. Positive, negative, neutral, what have you. But eventually, as you keep choosing in the direction of your preference, in the years to come, you will no longer be capable of perceiving the people that have chosen diametrically opposing paths or ones that are simply no longer vibrationally compatible with what you prefer. And the only world you will experience
will be the world where only the similar vibrations to your own will be able to be experienced by you, and similar vibrations to the other paths will be able to be experienced by them, but you will never meet in physical reality in that way again. You will meet in spirit, but not in physical reality, because you will have chosen different versions of parallel realities to play out the Earth game.
Huh. And in another footage alleged to be released by the Vatican timekeeper, we have a photo here of the Antichrist, my friends, or a creature that is alleged to be the Antichrist. Look at this one, going up there on the cross of a certain church. I don't know if it's a church or which building that is, but it has a cross, looks like a temple. Oh my God. The Antichrist, you mean, is a real creature with wings? This is unbelievable. Oh. Huh. If that is real, man, then there are really crazy stuff that we haven't yet seen. Because now, what could you say this is? How can you explain it? You see all this stuff they are written about in the Bible, but now what's scary is to see them here in footage, and it is said that they are real. You wonder, my God, oh, what does this world really entail? All these mysteries and crazy stuff. Wonderful souls. We all need you to.
This has been hidden for centuries, and it will make you question your reality. This is Jesus in a 12th century medieval painting found in the Church of St. Clement. Do you notice what is strange about this painting? He is depicted holding what looks like to be a wand. Theologians say that it is just a symbol representing the power of the divine, but this is where it takes a darker turn. This isn't the only artwork from that era showing holy figures with wands. Many believe that this wasn't merely a symbol, but rather a tool of advanced technology passed down from a higher civilization. Many historians believe that this object is a connection to the lost technologies that existed before our mainstream timeline. Ancient texts and artifacts from various cultures depict similar tools used for healing, energy manipulation, and communication with higher realms. It begs the question, so why would the Vatican hide these paintings? These tools would imply a level of sophistication that conflicted with the Church's teachings about the primitiveness of pre-Christ societies.
The measure of change is not when the outside changes. The measure of change is that you respond differently to the outside, even if it still looks the same. That's how you prove you've actually changed. Because if you've really changed, if you're really in alignment with the vibration you prefer to be, you couldn't care less what the outside looks like or what happens out there. And as soon as you actually stop caring whether the outside changes to match the things you prefer, then because that's a true change, the outside will have no choice but to change to reflect it. But as long as you make the change within you conditional on the outside having to change to reflect it, that means you haven't changed, and therefore the outside never will. It's like saying I'm looking in a mirror and I'm seeing my reflection frown. Well, I'm going to stand here and I'm going to wait, and I'm not going to smile until that reflection smiles first. You'll be standing there forever. But when you decide, oh, heck with this, I don't care if the reflection smiles, I'm going to smile because that's what I prefer to do. Then suddenly you look at the reflection and go, oh, the reflection is smiling. How magical, what a coincidence. But the idea is you have to not care that it is going to smile back. Just let it be the mirror that it is and change within yourself because that's what you prefer, regardless of whether the mirror changes or whether it's even there. That's the secret to manifestation.
This video shows a childhood fear come to life, as an escalator completely demolishes this pair of shoes in a blink of an eye, and some might even say that escalated quickly. I know we've all thought of this going up the escalator with our parents, but now that irrational fear is not so irrational after all.
Another image of what is said to be the China medieval. This footage here, my friend, is allegedly or was allegedly released by the Vatican from the timekeeper. This is believed to be the Chinese medieval dragon, or what you call it. Do you see that stuff? This looks like the one that was in movies. But now the one in movies is controlled by people. People put on some clothes there of what looks like this creature. But now this footage shows now that creature in real life. Or what is said it could have been real or it is real. Wait, no, this one, is this previous time, future time, my friend, or is present time? The Chinese medium dragon. Dragon, this is one very big creature. Oh my god. Now where could they be living? Or where could they have been used to live back then? In the mountains, caves, or what? This is crazy. In the water. Oh, it is in the water.
I understand that there's probably too many stupid and angry people to actually have an intelligent conversation about 1 × 1 = 1. But I'm going to give it a shot anyway, and we're just going to try to ignore all the barnyard animals making grunts and neighs. By the way, Eric Weinstein, one of the most brilliant physicists on the planet right now, confirmed that everything that Terrence Howard was saying about the periodic table and harmonics and frequency and atomic structure was all correct. I just want to make sure that part hits home for all of you, because while half of the internet was making fun of Terrence Howard for being an idiot and acting like complete morons in the comments, he was actually correct about all the things they said was psychobabble. And not only did Eric Weinstein confirm that all the primary arguments that Terrence Howard was making were absolutely true and in line with quantum physics, he went on to say that Terrence Howard is talking about the physics that no one is talking about, but is absolutely true, that the public are kept in the dark about. This isn't a I told you moment to all those people who were talking smack. I could care less. I know what they're up to. They're either angry, miserable people, or they know this stuff is true and they're trying to get you to doubt yourself and doubt true wisdom. This video is a look out for those types of people video. This is a video for people that actually had an open mind about it, and maybe they were pressured to not talk about it or think about it because of all the fools around them that pretended to know what mathematics is, that pretended to know what quantum physics is. There's a lot of fake experts out there that are trying to control the narrative. I am so happy that Eric Weinstein came out and said what he said. Now, with all that being said, Eric was also critical of Terrence Howard for having an over-associative mind. Now, I think that's a bit of an unfair criticism. I think a better criticism would be, I think he's making too many associations with all that information and data. That's a fair criticism. To say he has an over-associative mind is a bit of a logic jump. I don't think Eric knows Terrence that well that he can make that assumption about him. Nor can we actually say that that is the truth, because we have to test all these associations. Because Terrence Howard is taking a bunch of physics that is in the dark, right, that not many people are talking about, and he's saying, let's test things this way. Let's try this out. So before we can make a criticism like he's making too many associations or he has an over-associative mind, we have to test to see if those associations are real. And what I mean by that is the associations he made between the periodic table, music, sound, frequency, and atomic structure, and the flower of life. So just so you know, all those people who were making fun of him, who were acting like they were so much smarter, were absolute fools. Look at all the comments. Look at all the people who made videos about Terrence Howard and were just talking smack about him, saying he was delusional, saying he's an actor, he's just acting, saying there's no way he could know these things. Whatever nonsense came out of their mouth, understand that they were either completely stupid about what was going on or they were lying to you. Okay, next, the 1 × 1 = 1 problem. Now that people can see that Terrence Howard actually did his homework, I want you to understand that what he's saying is not necessarily that 1 × 1 actually equals 2. He's talking about a giant hole in the logic of how we use integers. If you don't think 1 × 1 = 1 is weird, we'll try multiplying 0.4 by 0.4 and getting 0.16. It's strange enough for something to not increase in value when you multiply it. It's even stranger when it decreases in value when you multiply it. So how would we represent a fraction of an integer in our reality? Well, let's say 0.4. How would we physically produce an object that is a fraction of a whole? You see how all this stuff is becoming abstract? I mean, we can do something like, well, take 0.4 liters of water, right? That's a fraction of a liter, right? but the 0.4 that we have is a whole object. But let's just use this for the sake of the argument. Now, if we multiply that 0.4 liter by another 0.4 liter, we are not going to have 0.16 liter. We're not going to have about a third of the original 1 before we multiplied it. The argument that Terence is making is that the abstract nature of some of our mathematical principles do not work in the physical world once we start trying to use them. But many scientists are under the delusion that mathematical principles, like the multiplication of integers and the dimensionality of space, are real things also, which they're not. And this is why science and mathematics is on pause. This is why science and mathematics have not been able to make good on the promises they made about technology, about the advancement of our understanding of the universe, why they're still stuck on string theory, which is never going to work because they're still treating dimensions as if they're more than mathematical measurement points. And before people get butthurt about me using the word stupid, I don't use it very often, but here's when I use it. When someone doesn't know something, but they think they do, and they are forceful in their ignorance, and they're mean about it, and they pick on other people for having different opinions when they have no idea what they're talking about, right? It's violent ignorance. That's stupidity. So when I say stupid, I mean it, and I never take it back. Because it's one thing to not know something. That's completely normal. There's tons of things I don't know. And if you humbly ask questions to try to clarify things, and you get other people's opinions, and you keep an open mind, then you're a decent person. You're not a stupid one. Even if you believe something that is not true, right? Maybe you got a lot of bad information, or maybe you just haven't finished the calculations on something, and it seems like it feels right, like it's the right thing to believe in. But when you make your ignorance other people's problem, it becomes stupidity. When you start shaming, ridiculing, and censoring people simply because they have questions about the official story, then you have become the problem.
Wow, wonderful sauce. Thank you very much for watching up to this far. It's been nice being with you. And if you have clicked today for the first time, you've probably been wondering, who is this guy here? I'm Y311H, and we are always on a mission to spread this message here, you see, of love, peace, honesty, and forgiveness to the whole world. So hit the like button always, subscribe, hit the membership button, the super thanks button, and spread the videos to your family and friends. That way we can reach the whole world, you see, and impact everyone positively. There's some great good vibes episodes coming soon. Hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when they are released. Till that time, peace and love be with you. God bless you abundantly. Bye bye.